Are live. What's up, guys, gals, fellow humans, humanoids, whatever being you're from, watching from wherever you're at. Thanks for tuning in here, Wednesday, May 8th, giving you guys a little bit of proof of life. 3 or 4 good days goes by with no YouTube posting, and people start messaging and commenting. Where you at, Jordan? Where you at? What you up to? You okay? And yes, I'm okay. Quite frankly, I'm one that just sort of runs off feeling, intuition, and I took a little bit of a YouTube fast because I just didn't feel like it. I don't know, quite honestly, just needed some time off. I think it's important, especially with this, with these things we're figuring out about our world. They're not easy. They're not easy to digest, and then take that step further, sharing these things, sharing these uncomfortable truths, uncomfortable facts with the world. It's difficult work that I'm doing, that all you guys out there are doing as well. So take some time off, recuperate your mind and body, decompress. And I did that. I needed that. I felt like it. So I did. And not just that, but as much as I love doing the videos where I go through just what's going on in the news, a bunch of articles, things like that, I think those are important, and those aren't going away. But, I don't want to be a one-dimensional person or a one-dimensional YouTube channel. So that means a couple things. Number one, variety. Somebody just said, miss the whiteboard. Yes, that's coming back. Thinking of just different things to do. Get creative with these videos. Not just creative, but figure out fun ways to get these sorts of ideas out there. So yes, different videos, but at the same time, I like to take time off to research deeper things. You can only go through so many freaking headlines and articles where it just starts getting like, I call it information saturation. And it almost makes you neurotic. You become addicted to just like figuring out what's going on next. And you're on Twitter, you're on Instagram, and just got to put those things to the side sometimes. And I feel the need to go deeper with different topics. And it's good because it'll, make you much more well-rounded. So when you see things going on currently, geopolitically, events, news, things like that, you can understand it a lot better. So what was I going through here? I got a bunch of my tabs up. I was going through a bunch of research on electrogravitics, physics, these sorts of things. Appreciate it, Brooks, for the super chat there. Check magnesium EMP, spontaneous correlation. Will do, thank you. But, so I was researching into some physics concepts. One of my favorite pastimes to do when I need to unplug from Twitter and get away from what's all going on there and in the world, and just dig into some books or some articles, things like that. I was going into some Tetons and Brown, electrogravitics, trying to wrap my head around what's actually going on with our freaking world. Because, of course, they don't teach us hardly any true context, true ideas in our public schooling system. They teach us a lot of facts, a lot of data, but then a lot of the big picture ideas they give us is wrong. It's kind of plain false. A lot of magical things they conjure up, or straight untruths that they'll offer, whether it be in physics or medicine or whatever the case. So I just like to dig down into the deepest depths of what I can find and figure it out. Then, of course, share that. So I was going into electricity, gravity, trying to understand gravity. And a lot of people out there say that gravity doesn't exist, but it's kind of a semantics thing, Think of it as gravity or some sort of other sort of force, but it's really electrical, electrical in nature. And I was looking at Wallace Thornhill of the electric universe ideas. And then I was going into looking at a lot of patents on electrogravitics. So that's been interesting to me lately. I've been doing some deep dives into patents on these sorts of technologies. That recent news story of the Navy getting granted a patent, which is intriguing. I'll be doing a lot on that. But the Navy getting granted a patent that was that triangle-shaped thing. They called it a UFO-like thing in the news. But funny enough, there's a lot of patents going way back to the 50s and 60s even, discussing electrokinetic apparatuses, hydrodynamic apparatuses, basically, anti-gravity for lack of a better term. So, very interesting stuff. I was looking at all these patents. The Invention Secrecy Act, 1952, Invention Secrecy Act was enacted, which basically gave the federal agencies, name any three-letter agency, the State Department as well, pretty much many of these government organizations can strike patents as secret. So there's some patents that have been leaked out into the public domain, and however, for whatever reason, but there's a lot of patents, thousands of them, maybe even more, that are classified, highly classified. Combine that in with all the technologies that we know very well are hidden from us, then you can connect the dots there. So it's going into that, and also, and of course, I mean, you're researching physics, philosophical ideas go hand in hand with that, but psychology. Funny enough, psychology always interests me. Researching psychoanalytics, just figuring out how not just the world works like physics, but we work, us, as human incarnates here. So psychology has always interested me. Dr. Carl Jung, Joseph Campbell. Lately I've been reading some books on, I want to get into Wilhelm Reich, but Dr. Alexander Lowen, who was a understudy of Wilhelm Reich, studied with him and under him, and developed some similar ideas having to do with healing the body through healing the mind, bioenergetics, essentially. That's very good stuff. A lot of I could do a lot of ranting on all of that. So those are a few things that I was digging into, taking some time to research. Got like 50 tabs up here. A couple books I've been wanting to dig into. Papa Noel. Maybe interview. Suggestion there. Thank you, my friend. And the super chat as well. Whatever currency DKK is. Oof. Need some mods. Who wants to mod for me? Hold on. Got to do a little bit of housekeeping here in the chat. All right, guys. So, what kind of questions you got for me? Do a little interaction here. Famous big ass cup. Yes. I like my coffee. I like my tea. There seem to be a lot of comments saying that I'm going to jump to Tulsi. I don't know. Is this some sort of campaign? I've never even talked about her, I don't think, on this channel, or mentioned her in any of my videos. Some of the things she says I kind of vibe with, but if I had to vote, I would do DJT 2020. So I don't know, it's like multiple people in the comments saying that I'm going to jump to Tulsi, something like that. I don't know if that's coordinated some deeper way. A lot of people talking about ESETI. Yes, ESETI. Enlightened contact with extraterrestrial intelligences. James Gilliland's ranch here in the state of Washington, out near Mount Adams. Very remote, very beautiful place. And he does some fantastic workshops and events and conferences, things like that there. And a lot of sightings in the sky as well. So these sorts of places, they're real. I mean, you can go. It's all about, it's really a choice, right? We can choose to have these experiences if we want to, and you can go to places where you can have them. And then it's all about intention. What sort of experiences do you want to have, good or bad? And there's places where you can go do both those things. What are my thoughts on C60? C60. Yeah, there's a lot of, supplements. I've been doing the supplement thing for a long, long time. Been familiar with the industry and a lot of nutritional topics. I think there's a lot of supplements out there that are probably beneficial in some way, shape, or form, but they're either expensive or they're just unnecessary. There's a lot of things to focus on first, get right first with your body and your mind. And a lot of free ways you can get your body and mind right first. And then you can, later on, once you have your foundation set, look into things like C60, things like, you can spend a little bit of money on if you have it and try, but shoot, why spend money on C60 when you can do something like fast? That requires no money. You don't spend nothing. And you can do marvelous things for your health if you fast correctly and just simply drink more water. How many of us are dehydrated? So, yeah. That's my thoughts on that. Mariko says, loving the Ormus. Got the other day from my website. Thank you, my friend. There you go. Helping me out. Giving me an opportunity to plug my own website there. JordanSather.com. Yes, there's sign up for the newsletter. You'll either get a pop-up or you can just scroll to the bottom, sign in there. Just sign up for my newsletter that I send out often, on occasion, a couple times a month. I don't overload you, but when something comes up and I feel the need, send out an email. And there's an event page, there's a few other pages, and a shop. And I have some Orgonite and Ormus that are up on the shop, and I'm looking for more things. Looking to get some more goodies up on there. Thank you. Appreciating my health vids. The more the better. And I've got ideas in the works. How far do I want to go into discussing those? With what I'm bringing out on my website, I'm also looking at, I have that Conscious Strength YouTube channel. My third one. I have a backup to this one. Woo! Popped out of the stand. Boom. There we go. I have a third YouTube channel that I was posting some health videos on. I'm thinking about upping that, starting that up again, and creating a separate Instagram whole brand with a bunch of just health information. So that might be something I do, but I got to figure out how much time and energy that would require. So, there's that. How can you book me as a speaker? Go to my website and send me an email, contact page, and we can discuss. We can talk about that. Sometime, most of the time actually, many of these speaking engagements, I don't even get paid. I just go. They take care of my travel and stay. Then I'm more than happy to go hang out and present and whatnot. Let's see. Some people asking me about recent events like Barr in front of Congress and Ray and whatnot. I've been keeping up on that. Not too in-depth, but somewhat. A lot of the things going on. We had the shooting in Colorado and multiple people talking to Congress and what else has been going on? Geez, lots of little things, I might go live tonight or tomorrow and just touch on a lot of these things, but quite frankly, I just don't know the depths of it all. One thing I do think is that a lot of people see something happen. They'll see, for instance, Chris Wray say a couple things to Congress, and then the mainstream media will blow up, spin the context of something. And a lot of people out there will see that and get triggered. And sometimes I just don't do videos and wait. I like to wait because I like to see how things develop. Don't see something and get automatically triggered by it. That's it's kind of the state they want you in, right? So just relax. Take a little bit of time to see what else might be going on to give you some context, give you a bigger picture, so you're not so caught up by whatever headline or whatever tweet you see or comment you see, and then think the world's fallen, think, you know. Man, hide user on this channel. Boom. Sorry guys, we got a lot of interesting folks in this comment section. Ooh. New Age propaganda, somebody mentioned. I got a lot of thoughts on that. New Age. Simply that term, New Age. You know, New Age propaganda. A lot of topics that are relegated into the New Age label or category are pretty damn old, pretty ancient. And not just that, but there are a lot of, I want to say truths, but, you know, information that is on point in that, quote, New Age category. But at the same time, because it is pretty darn close to the truth, that's why there's a lot of bullshit that's been mixed in. The New Age area has been infiltrated with a lot of mind warps, to keep it PG-13. You know, twists in logic. There is a lot of bad propaganda there, but at the same time, it's done on purpose. So then people see some of the bad stuff coming out of whatever they label as New Age. I don't like labels, period. But they see one little bad thing in that whole New Age realm and they throw it all out. That's what they want you to do. So yeah, they call it woo-woo. They call it different demeaning labels as such, pejoratives. And, well, it's all about discerning properly, right? Bonzo says these live chats are boring. Don't watch. Currency reset, dinar revaluation, all that. I was caught up by a lot of that, the whole Nazara revaluation dinar thing, like 5 years ago. And then there was a couple websites I was tracking or something like that. I was thinking it was going to happen. I was so excited. These websites kept saying, tonight, it's going to happen tonight, it's going to happen tonight. And then after like months and months, it was always tonight. Then I began to realize a lot of that is hope porn. I'm going to call it that. It's designed just to kind of lead people down dead ends. Now, it'd be nice, don't get me wrong, it'd be nice if some reevaluation occurred and, I don't know, what debt was written off, and I don't even quite remember what's involved in a lot of those ideas anymore. But I'd love that, waking up some morning with bunch of extra zeros in my bank account, but no, logically, doesn't just happen like that. It's a savior. It's one of those savior ideas, you know. There's a lot of savior mentalities out there when people just want whatever, you know, deity, or they want the ETs to come down, or they want some revaluation to occur, and it's a savior psyop. And the powers that be have put a lot of those out there to suck our energy, suck our creativity and our time. Yes, my friend, only you can save yourself. Only you can save yourself. Things like Q. Q's not saving us. Understand that. Donald Trump's not saving us. Only you're saving yourself. You're the one that's choosing to go on your awakening path, to start seeing these things. You're the one choosing to start a YouTube channel or get on Twitter or talk to your friends and family, whatever it is. They're just helping you. It's all a tool, you know? You can talk about religions. Religions don't save you. Deities, these prophet figures, they don't save you. They're just tools that you choose to use, for better or for worse, to save yourself. And you can't save other people. Ooh, 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 right in the heart. You can't save other people, okay? You can help, you can assist, you can try to be that tool, you can plant seeds, you can offer support, whatever it is. But if a person is stuck or choosing to stay stuck, and don't feel guilty, don't, a lot of those situations, those relationships and whatnot, they do get difficult, but it's not your fault. It's not the fault of anybody out there but the individual that's just making that choice. So, law of free will. Yes, my friend. Law of free will. That damn concept of free will. That is a actually very important one to understand. It's very helpful. Very helpful to understand. To gather why certain things are the way they are. Ooh, got a comment here. Please contact Marfoogle. Already did. Why does my phone want access to photos? Yes, Marfoogle. I just found his channel. Shout out to Marfoogle. I just found his channels. He has a couple, like a week or two ago. And then I was like, oh, snaps. He's doing some work on these. And got in contact with him on Twitter. Supposed to meet up with him the other day, but that fell through. And it's kind of my fault. But yes, I want to make some content with him. I want to, speaking of creative things to do on this channel, I want to go to different, wherever, university or some public area, and just ask people crazy stuff. We'll do that. Ooh, comment here. Somebody lives in the Midwest, Chicago. Would like to see me at Autism One. What day am I going to be there? So I'll be in Chicago at the Autism One conference at the end of May. Just a few weeks here. And I'll be there Saturday? I'm on a panel. That's what I'm going there for. I'm not presenting myself, but I'll be on a panel. And I think Saturday. Don't hold me to that, but check their schedule. Getting a lot of good comments in this section. I'll have to go back through after we're done and write some of these down. Concerned about partial disclosure or false flag event because things are coming to a head. Any thoughts? We get false flag events all the time. So, am I concerned? Not in a way that's going to, we could say, bring me down, per se, but it's always important to be eyes open, alert, on guard, aware of your surroundings. I made you a conspiracy theorist. It's my fault. My fault. Yeah, you can blame that on me. I'll take it. Anyway, we see false flags all the time, so be alert. And then we are also already seeing a sort of kind of limited hangout disclosure distraction. Distractions everywhere, but a big one with the whole UFO disclosure. I got a lot of thoughts on that. I'll save. You can listen to many of my other videos for them. I've got more I'll discuss in the future. False flag alien invasion, somebody questions. I don't know if that's something I've gone too much into, but I will here really quickly. Personally, I think a lot of what we hear about the false flag alien invasion is a psyop. So think of it as like a psyop about a psyop. The whole false flag Asian alien is like the deep state putting some hologram in the sky or showing one of their secret spacecraft over the sky, and if people think it's a UFO and it's aliens and we're gonna get invaded and whatnot. So it's like I think it's a psyop about a psyop in that I don't think it's really viable. I don't think it's gonna happen. And I think it was averted. Maybe the deep state planned for it at one time. I've seen a lot of information letting me believe that it was a serious op. They may have wanted to do at one point, but I think that ability for them to do so is long gone. I think it's nothing to even be worried about. I think people who are talking about it now I don't know, maybe trying to scare you, trying to muddy the waters in some way. And you think, you know, if a false flag alien invasion really did happen, either in the past or now, who are going to be the people that everybody then runs to? The person screaming, "Beware of the alien invasion." What if they're controlled op people? What a setup, right? It could be deep state people that were meant to be the sheep herders. Thinking of the terminology I want to say here. I'm trying to get comfortable. Ugh. I need like an office chair instead of this just like wooden thing. So in that, you know, after that rant, just discern at all costs. Research everything, okay? And then learn to hone your bullshit detector, your discernment meter, and then you'll start figuring out what's, you know, I mean, it's difficult because there's a lot of controlled opposition people out there who are great to research from. They have great information out there. But you just have to be mindful of any angles they might have before going into it or while you're researching them. So you know what to kind of like, brush off and not bother with, but then, that's good information, so I'll keep that. So it's the unlearning is just as tough as the relearning. And then the relearning, I mean, it's boom. Thank you, my friend, towards my desk chair. Well, I need a really nice camera too if it's no, just kidding. Thank you, appreciate it. Someone on your Facebook said, Jordan is controlled opposition. Who's controlling me? I see a lot of names. People, I don't know, shills or whoever will throw out there, like, this person is Jordan's handler, this person is Jordan's handler, and I see the person's name, I'm like, I haven't talked to them in like 2 months. Pretty bad handler. Who's my handler? Good question here. How do I make a, quote, living? Do I have a 9-to-5, quote, regular job? Curious how you YouTube guys make a living. That is a really good question. That's kind of a long answer. I'll try to make it short. But I just studied my ass off and I researched, and this was before I even had a YouTube channel. I was, me being proud college dropout, I didn't have that luxury of having the fancy plaque with a piece of paper in it that could show to somebody to get hired. So I had to study. And after going through some different jobs and that whole story of mine, I ended up getting to a point where I had to basically work for myself. I was trying to be a personal trainer / health coach, and I had to do my own marketing, and I was just figuring out that whole game. And then, so I acquired a little bit of know-how there and whatnot, but I ended up just deciding to quit that whole thing. Not going to personal train anymore. I'm going to do the YouTube thing. And at the time, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But I took that jump, which is important to take. And I went into it, and I just had to learn along the way. And I luckily applied some of that knowledge I was acquiring from just studying. Like I would see people on YouTube that created their own, whatever you want to call it, like went away from the regular 9-to-5 to doing their own thing, became an entrepreneur, and studied them, studied their material, studied their techniques, okay? A lot of people out there, they're kind of looking for mentors, and they are attaching to different mentors and wanting to meet them and whatnot. But we have the internet, guys. Like, you can research so many different things and learn on the internet and almost find that mentorship or find somebody to guide you without even ever meeting them. So studied a lot, started applying that. And like I've done a lot of different things to just make ends meet. When I first started my YouTube channel, I did a little bit of personal training on the side to make ends meet. I did that for maybe 8-9 months or so and ended up just not having the time anymore. So I did a few things on the side. I did some webinars, I think back in 2017. I did a few webinars. YouTube's, of course, always been here, there with whatever monetization I had. So there's just ways, right? The point here is that there's ways to make it work, and you just have to do it and create value as well. Create value with what you're offering to people. So whether it's information, motivation, inspiration, physical products, things like that, you find ways. So just do it. Get into Nike mode and just do it. Let's see here. Thank you. Calling me a beautiful soul. I appreciate that. Risk takers are the new truth. You have to take risks. Risk takers are the only people that are evolving, growing, right? It's a risk to stand out. It's a risk to start researching these things, start speaking out about these things. It's a risk to quit your job and follow your heart and do what you want to do and be a freaking artist or a musician or whatever. But you realize, like, damn, life is boring if I don't take those risks. And I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm not going to follow my heart and live the way I want to live. I'm going to live for somebody else. I'm going to live for their goals and dreams, not your own, you know? Somebody commented here and says, Q has never acknowledged Serial Brain 2, which is suspect considering Q acknowledges all the other legit researchers. Okay, let's talk about that. Brings up some good points. First of all, Q has linked an article from Serial Brain 2. And the reason I know that is because I was in that article that Serial Brain wrote. This was in May of, snaps, might have been just about a year ago. May of last year. And it was the start of the whole InfoWars saga, blah, blah, all that drama. But Q has linked an article from Serial Brain 2. Granted, just because Q links something, there's always vague context, no context, you know. Q does link a lot of legit researchers' Twitters, things like that. Lisa's, Joe M's, a lot of other ones, myself included. But sometimes Q links tweets or articles, or whatever the case, from people who kind of scratch your head about and whatnot. When it comes to Serial Brain 2, my own personal opinion, I've seen a lot of good stuff from him. I've seen a lot of stuff that I'm like, maybe that's just hidden his own interests or angle that he went off on and did some deep dive into. But I personally haven't followed him all that closely. But the gematria, I think some people go a little too much into the gematria. But that being said, numbers are important. As there are codes that are put into numbers in various ways, shapes, and forms. There's a reason 9/11, 7/11, you know, certain things happen on certain days. There's an occultism. There's a esoteric component, of course, to everything going on. But like I said, you know, you don't want to get so caught up that you almost become neurotic about it. So that's just my opinion. Yeah, take it or leave it. I'm just here to give you my opinion. Oh, 222 likes. Look at that. There you go. Numbers. Synchronicity. I will say, just a couple hours ago, I had an interesting experience. I came back from the gym and running my errands. Let's see. Made post-workout meal, meditated, came inside. I was getting this thing ready. I was in my kitchen. I heard this ping, and then, sometimes you just get like the pings in your head and whatever it is. Look at the clock, 11:11, baby. Yeah, right on the oven. Gets to a point where the number synchronicities are just like, great, there's another 4444. There's another 11:11. Look for the other ones, and you got to start branching out. Branching out with your synchronicities. All right, guys, I think it's about... Ooh, slinky sound is my mic rubbing on my collar. My bad. Scroll through the rest of these. All right, guys. A lot of questions, comments on the meteor talk. Hey, I ain't worried. If I do see a big old meteor coming down, what are you gonna do? On the deeper level, though, sometimes you see these articles come out in the mainstream media, and it's like NASA is trying to identify these meteors, or this public space agency is trying to identify all these things. It's like they've got them all identified. Come on. And the deeper levels, the secret space programs, if you want to call it that, they know so much more about what they let on the public, and they know where all these asteroids are. Come on. They will never let, somebody said the powers that be will never let an asteroid hit Earth. There's powers that be, also patriots in control. Would they let one hit Earth? Would any of these cosmic civilizations out there that are even here for this particular time in Earth's history, in human history, would they let that happen? I don't think they would let a cataclysmic one happen. There's a certain non-interference policy they have where they can't do certain things, but are more Orgonite pyramids coming soon? All the time, pretty much every week, there's more Orgonite on my website. So just check it. Just check it. Or sign up to my newsletter. Again, I put out emails every so often, and when I get a load of new stuff in, I usually put out an email. Let people know. I am a badass. Appreciate it, Brian. Thank you. What's my birth date? I am a Scorpio. How about that? You can guess the rest. Any past UFO experiences of mine? I've had a few. ECETI, I was talking about earlier. I'm very fond of that place. That's where I saw my first, no doubt in my mind, unmistakably, UFO craft in the sky. And when you're at ECETI, those ones aren't ours, which is the cool thing. It'd be pretty cool if they were ours as well, but they're not ours, which is almost even cooler. So yeah, ECETI, seen multiple there, and a couple times not at ECETI, I've had intriguing experiences that I'm not 100% on, but they're still very curious. But yeah, I've seen things in the sky. Again, you can go have your own experiences, do your own contact events or get-togethers, group gatherings, whatever the case, and do it yourself. Earth is under so much surveillance from Earth and off Earth. Yeah, I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that. Chemtrails. Some comments on chemtrails. Oof. It's It's been really nice in the Pacific Northwest, almost a little too nice actually. Don't want wildfires, but there has been a few days. It's been here or there, you know, half the days are blue sky, not a trail in sky, and then other days, like earlier this week, covered. Ha! It just shows you. I mean, why do some days you see all these trails and other days the planes just don't leave them? Huh. Things that should make you scratch your head. I do notice them lessening though. I will say that. And I think the programs are getting cleaned up. There's a couple tough parts to that situation though. Number one, it's not like these are government owned. These are owned by corporations, shell corporations. So finding the activities and what's going on in corporations is a lot more difficult than if they were being ran by a federal agency, military or government or whatever the case. So makes it tough. And number two is that, I mean, expand thinking with this one. They've been doing these trails for decades, could we say? Decades, years, right? So we've almost built up almost a tolerance to it, or we've become accustomed to having these chemtrails in our freaking lives and breathing them in. So if they were to just stop like that, done. No more trails in the sky. No more reflective particles bouncing off the cosmic rays and the sun energies, you know? If we were to just take the brunt of all those cosmic energies and solar energies all at once, that would like fry us. We'd go, not fry physically, like, but it would, there'd be shit going on with our DNA and our consciousness that we wouldn't know how to handle. We're talking a lot of words and ideas I could throw out there, like word salad, but it would be difficult for people to handle energetically, emotionally, with all of that, and physically too. So it's almost like they have to wean us off. They feel like wean us off the chemtrails. Maybe, you know, that's just an idea in my mind. But protect yourself. You know, protect yourself. See people talking about detoxification and whatnot. Yeah, man, fast. Drink water. Sweat. A lot of people just don't sweat enough. They don't impact their bodies enough. Get their fluids moving. You know, simple things. Like I was mentioning earlier, you can spend shitloads of money on fancy, expensive supplements with pretty labels, but there's a lot of things you can do right now that are free. That'll make a world of difference. So put those into practice, then get yourself balanced, and then you can experiment with other things. Cat juggling. Okay. I don't know how to juggle, but I like cats. I don't know if that would be the safest thing in the world, though. What up, Jay Say? What up, Peelback Report? Origins of Rh negative blood. Yeah, the whole negative component. Who knows? Who knows? We got a lot of intriguing things about our DNA, though. Fused chromosomes. Anomalies in there. I don't know what I frankly have no idea what my blood type is. But we're human, period. I don't care if I'm a plus or a negative. It makes no difference to me. I'm human. We're all humans. We're all badasses here on Earth with these pineal glands and brains and this DNA here. So just understand that, you know. Don't go out looking for things that are going to make you feel special and validated, because that's kind of the idea we're trying to negate. Just be your damn self. Whichever way your blood's flowing, whatever color it is. Just as Joseph Campbell says, follow your bliss. Boom, there you go. Life's going to be grand. Do I think 5G is stopped? Ugh. I think there's some good forces out there that are trying to stop it. I don't know if it's 100% stopped. I think if there weren't forces out there trying to stop its implementation, it would have been here already. Would have been here a while ago. And in much more capacity than it was now. So, no, I don't doubt that a lot of people saying 5G is on its way, it's going to happen. Well, with that attitude, it is. But I've seen articles mentioning that it's in a variety of cities, maybe 12, 15, 20 cities, something like that. We can all stop it with collective awareness. You can also get the heck out of the city and avoid it. Get away from the 4G, 5G, Gwen towers, all of that harmful EMF. So yeah, we do need to raise some public awareness about some things, don't we? 5G, geoengineering, big pharma, free energy, how freaking wrong a lot of these things they teach us are. 0G. I'm all for 0G. 0G technology. Man, I still don't even like 4G. 4G is sufficient for my scrolling, but it's not sufficient for my brain and my DNA. Ooh, the veganism agenda. Ugh. I don't know if I want to touch that. Talking about veganism is like, it's like playing with fire. It's like talking about flat Earth. You're like automatically gonna get 100 downvotes in your video. I might save that. I might save that for a separate video. My thoughts on veganism, because I got a lot of them. Sometimes veganism is healthy, sometimes not. It's all situational. Again, labels. Don't get attached to one diet, one way. I think that that's going to suffice for everything because our environment's always changing. So that means we have to constantly change. Some days I eat vegan. Some days I don't eat vegan. Some days I don't eat anything. Some days I eat probably 6,000 calories. So there you go. End of duality, right? End of black and white. It's all gray. It's all gray. Gray like my shirt. French fries and beer are vegan. Yeah, they are. And there's a lot of shit being flung every way in that conversation. You know, vegans hating on non-vegans, non-vegans making fun of vegans, but there's a lot of great ideas in both camps, right? If I had cancer, I'm gonna go vegan. I'm gonna do some Gerson therapy. You know, I'm gonna do what's necessary to keep myself at top performance. Does it involve veganism? Maybe. Maybe it does. Maybe that day I don't do anything. I sit on my ass and I'm not active. Do I need meat that day? My muscles don't have to repair. It's good. You know, I can get enough protein from plant sources that day. I'll skip the meat. But am I active? Am I hiking? Am I lifting heavy weights? Maybe I've gone a certain amount of time fasting and I did do some exercise. You need some B12, you need some protein in there. I'll just make sure it's, humanely raised as possible. Grass-fed, pasture-raised. Look into the company. Where's this company from? Who am I buying from? You know? Consciousness is key. Save a plant, eat a cow. Oh, man. I like plants, though. That being said, probably 91% of Americans out there eat way too much meat, way too much meat. And they're doing themselves a disservice. But then again, vegans, whew, heard a lot of personal testimony that it's not for them. Then again, raw food. Big fan of raw food. I don't cook much. I don't cook much of my food. It's all about life force. Just look at everything we do, like the electric universe, right? The electric universe theory. It's so much more than just an idea of how our sun interacts with our Earth. You go into, of course, all the deep esoteric hidden physics concepts that are mind-blowing, but also look at your body as being an electric conduit. How are you going to be the healthiest version of yourself, expression of yourself that you can? Be the most vibrant, energetic, electric. So eat like that. Cooking your food reduces the enzyme count in it. So limit how much you cook. Eating processed foods, of course, all this stuff, non-organic foods, laden with pesticides that suck the minerals out of the plant. Not as much life force, not as much electricity. When you're drinking beer, wine, soda, unfortunately, sucking that electricity out of you. Water, it's a conductor, right? Don't sit in a bath and drop the toaster in it. So drink that water. Moving that electricity around your body. Eat those fats. Fats make up the cell membrane of our cells and allow the electricity. Go quicker. Then caffeine, be careful of the caffeine. When you drink caffeine, it wires up your nervous system, but it's like NOS on a car. It's going to damage it in the long run. And then your electricity will end up dwindling with too much caffeine, too much coffee. Coffee dehydrates you as well. It's a diuretic. So many things that we think we're doing a service for ourselves is actually unresourceful. It's diminishing this life force capacity that we have. Ha! Somebody said, dude, are you okay? I'm great. I'm going off with this one. 666 people watching. Just another synchronicity. The thing about symbols is that symbols carry the energy with which we give them. So symbol to one person can mean a lot different to a symbol to another person. But whatever their respective intentions are, or whatever thought force they're giving to these particular symbols, that's what they are manifesting through them. A lot of people unconsciously, they have no idea that these symbols are having a certain power over them. A lot of people do. And then if you're consciously utilizing these symbols, with what intention are you doing it? You can utilize symbols with good intentions, most definitely. But at the same time, we know that there's groups out there that use symbols for not such good intentions. So don't get into the superstition of it. You see 666, devil, devil. What does 666 mean to a person that has no idea what Christianity or religion or the devil or God or Jesus or any of that is? There you go. Oh, 3 6s, cool. Like an innocent child. So, amazing what, perspective. Perspective is everything, right? All right, guys, I think that's all for this one. I think I've ranted long enough. Appreciate you all for hanging out with me today. I've got a lot of good comments, a lot of good questions for me to go through. And I'll be making a lot of videos on those. So I see a lot of people throw in more questions at me. But I got to go. I got some stuff to do. And we'll do this